The fourth day of competition of the Men's 2015 Caribbean Basketball Confederation Championships. I'm Craig Fada. My partner is Cal White, former men's team standout for the Virgin Islands. And this first game tonight, Cal, is, at least on paper, going to be a real good one, as you have Antigua and Barbuda coming in at 2-0 and the Bahamas coming in at 2-0, a couple of the pre-tournament favorites.
This is a heavyweight matchup, as both teams are 2-0 in this tournament. For Bahamas, they're going to run their offense through. Magnum Roll, the big fella, averaging 10.7 points per game, 6.7 rebounds. Antigua, they do it by committee. They have 4 guys averaging in double figures and another 3 guys averaging 9 points. So look for them to share the wealth. This is going to be a great one.
There you see the starters for Antigua and Barbuda. Lennox McCoy, Jerome Richardson, Kurt Luby, Ernest Scott, and Sharif Sargent. A moment ago you saw Bahamas, Taryn Cox, Leon Cooper, Kentwan Smith, David Nesbitt, and the big man you talked about, Mangan Roll. Our officials tonight, Angel Martinez from Puerto Rico, Shem Oliver from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Gregory Hamilton from the Cayman Islands. Angel Martinez puts it in the air, and Antigua wins the tip. McCoy controls. Once again, we're glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from around the Caribbean and around the world. As Antigua gets the first look inside, Luby has his shot fall in after the dunk didn't go.
And what a matchup that's going to be, Luby against Roll. Both big fellas going to be banging a lot inside. It's a key matchup.
Well, and don't forget, Antigua can also bring in Sharif Sargent. Now a 3 on the way.
And that's what I stated yesterday. There's only 2 big guys in this tournament that can step out and shoot that ball like that. One for the Bahamas being Magnum Roll, the other for the Virgin Islands being Craig Williams.
Now the ball tipped out of bounds. It'll go to Bahamas. Looks like Roll is limping a little bit already. Earlier action today, our first game of the day, it was St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the Cayman Islands 80-71. SVG finishes group play at 2-2. The Cayman Islands has one more. They are at 0-3. In our second game of the afternoon, it was Bermuda improving to 2-1 with a 71-50 win over Suriname. Suriname at 0-3. And then coming up tonight, another pretty good game. Virgin Islands at 2-0, taking on Barbados at 1-1. And Barbados can make things interesting, as we saw last night.
Barbados, one of those teams that fights and claws their way back in the game. Pretty led most of the game yesterday. British Virgin Islands make a late run, was unsuccessful coming back in that game.
Cox around the screen. Loses the handle, and it goes out of bounds. That will be Antigua ball. We also invite you to follow along on Facebook as Richardson hits the 3. At Caribbean Basketball Confederation, we've posted some great pictures on there throughout the tournament. And I have to say that the fans from Suriname really have been the most active, liking and commenting and getting involved on social media. You can also follow us on Twitter. We are at Caribe Basket, Caribe Basket. Now another 3 by Richardson. That won't go. Luby gets bottled up, and yeah, up and down. And there was a ton of Twitter conversation going on during the last game between Suriname and Bermuda. So we would invite you to participate during this game as well. Once again, we are at Caribe Basket, Caribe Basket. got a shout out for your favorite team or player, or if you just want to ask a question for Cal or myself, we'll do our best to answer it. Now McCoy with the crafty move around the defender on the layup.
Beautiful move by Lennox McCoy.
And it's 7-2, rather 7-3 in favor of Antigua.
Lennox McCoy still looking like he's in his 20s. As I said, he's still the older statesman, as he's been around for quite a while, as I played in a couple tournaments against him.
Did they start using a glass backboard yet when you were in tournaments, or were they still using plywood?
That's a good one.
You're not that old, right?
Not that old.
Nesbitt from straight on hits the three.
Good shot from head on with Nesbitt. Nesbitt, one of those high flyers on this Bahamas team, as they got a number of athletes.
Now a pretty scoop layup by Sargent. Cox thought about the three, stepped inside after McCoy flew by, and that finds its way home. I once worked a game with a guy who had been involved with basketball so long, he kept calling it the bank board instead of the backboard. Now a couple of guys end up on the floor, no call. And then the ball thrown out of bounds ahead. And that'll be a turnover. It'll be Antigua ball. 9-8 in favor of Antigua. 5:46 to play first quarter.
This Bahamas team came back with a lot of size this year. As last year, they basically ran the offense to a three-guard set. They had some beautiful guards last year.
So Richardson to the free throw line. Misses. The foul was on Michael Bain Jr. Second free throw no good. Cooper between the rings, bounce pass kicked around a little bit. Now Bain attacking, has it knocked out of his hand and fading away his roll. That won't hit. Still 9-8 in favor of Antigua. Now the kick out to Scott, three on the way, kaboom!
Beautiful penetration and pitch by Lennox McCoy, as he was able to draw all the defenders down to the paint, kicked it out to Scott.
Roll driving, now fades away, airmails the basket. Now Scott on the wing. Long jumper by Scott, another three, that's no good. And now Angel Martinez calls Michael Bain for the hold. That was away from the two players that tumbled to the floor. So that's two on Bain. McCoy sits down, Burton comes in. Luby sitting down. Kadeem Colby in now for the Bahamas as well. Richardson in the corner, fakes the three, goes around his defender, now kicks the pass out. Hanging shot rejected. That was Colby. Now the three on the way from the corner, no. Rebound Cooper. Boy, with Roll and Colby in there defensively for Bahamas, it's going to be tough getting anything inside.
It's the same thing on the other end that you got Sharif Sargent in there, who's the sergeant of arms down in that paint.
Now a three, that's good. Raviel Burton hits the three, and it's 15-8.
This Antigua team just matches up perfect with this Bahamas team, as they both have size and quickness.
Now the three on the way, that is good from Bain, Eugene Bain.
That was actually Torrington Cox on the three. Number 12.
Beg your pardon, I thought I saw 11. That three is no good. Now Cooper kicks it out, three on the way. That's no good. That was Cox with another three attempt, Torrington Cox. Now the short jumper is a little too strong by Burton. Now Colby goes to the glass. That won't fall in, but a foul called. Now you look at the way that Roll is coming off the court, coming off a little gingerly as there's timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well. 15-11 in favor of the Bahamas. We're back in a minute from the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Rotown. .227 to play, first period. Antigua had a brief 7-point lead before Torrington Cox hit a three-pointer to get it back to 4. That's where we're at now. Now the shot blocked by Luby. Here comes Antigua back the other way. Richardson. Nothing doing for Antigua. And Antigua was going to get called for the over and back violation, so Richardson batted it out of bounds over the end line before the Bahamas could pick it up and run away with a fast break and get a layup out of it.
Not a good move by Richardson. You always want to get hold of that ball because sometimes the ref don't call it. The ref might have thought that it was tipped by the other player.
Now Bahamas turns it over. They're trying to hit Michael Bain Jr. on the skip pass, and it was a little too tall for him. And now a timeout called by Antigua with exactly 2 minutes to play. Both teams 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. Beg your pardon, 3 of 7. And right now, you said before the game got started, this is kind of a heavyweight matchup. Right now, I think they're still kind of dancing around the ring, just kind of throwing jabs at each other.
I expect both teams to shoot a lot of outside shots because it's going to be difficult to get shots inside the basket, as both these teams have great big men that is really good at help side defense, as we saw in the last possession.
Is it going to be a situation where not necessarily working it around the perimeter, but a guy who can drive it then dish it for the open look? Is that the team that's going to maybe have the most success tonight?
It's definitely going to be something like that. You want to be able to create penetration, suck the defense in, and be able to kick it back out to create wide open shots.
15-11 in favor of Antigua and Barbuda with 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Antigua ball. Richardson to the front court, picked up by Bain. Now Joshua on the left wing, guarded by Cooper. Into the corner for Scott. Back to Joshua, pushed almost all the way out near midcourt. Now Burton launches the three. Yes! Back to a 7-point lead. Now inside is Kadeem Colby, and that goes in. Joshua was trying to get Burton. Now Burton came out to set the screen. Back out to Burton, another three on the way. No. Burton tried to sell the foul. Cooper, that's no good. I've never seen a series of games where guys have tried to sell fouls on jump shots more than I have in this tournament.
The difference in this game is going to be the guard play. Whoever have the better guard play is going to be the difference in this game. Both big men from either team kind of equalizes each other out.
And Eugene Bain gets sent to the floor by Burton. Best acting job I ever saw was a few weeks ago in China. Guy makes a three-point attempt. The defender kind of just holds his hand out in front, turns around and watches the shot while his hand is still extended. The shooter walks into the guy's hand with his face and then collapses like he got shot, and the refs bought it, and he got three at the free throw line. First free throw by Bain is good. Hits them both, and it's 18-15. Now fast break opportunity for Bahamas, and Scott commits the foul.
That was a great foul by Scott. That the Bahamas had numbers, 3-on-1 fast break. He was able to commit the foul and stop the break.
First foul on Burton. Bahamas to inbound. Lewis around the screen by Colby. Now a three, no, a pass inside to Lewis. Lewis misses, the follow won't go. Shot clock is off, game clock at 16. Richardson. Scott. Out to McCoy. Clock down to 7. McCoy around the screen. He has it swatted out of his hand, and here comes Bahamas, and Scott gets called. Scott gets called for the foul. He initially, oh, they are going to give him the breakaway. Boy, that's a tough call right there.
I don't understand how that was called because Scott was in between the basket and the player.
I think that's what Scott was saying. I mean, at the very least, he was next to the player.
I think the rule is the player has to be ahead of the defender
right.
for it to be a clear path foul.
So one free throw is good. It's 18-16. Yeah, that was a little bit of a head scratcher there. Angel Martinez on the call.
It's one of those ever-changing rules of FIBA basketball.
Now Cox from nearly half court just about drained that three-pointer, and at the end of one, it's 18-16 in favor of Antigua. We're back in 2 minutes from Roadtown. Back at the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Roadtown on Tortola of the British Virgin Islands. After one quarter, it's Antigua and Barbuda 18, Bahamas 16. And partner, you went over to the table to try to get some clarification on that clear path foul.
The commissioner thought that it was the correct call. I disagree. However, his explanation was that the offensive player was fouled with no other defenders in his way to the basket, so that's why he called clear path foul.
But what you and I saw was that the defender was stationary. The offensive player was running past him, and as he committed the foul as the player was running past him, so he couldn't have been behind the play. Now Lewis with the push off, no call. And now Kenya Ackham called for his first foul. 18-16.
Shaquan Lewis, one of the young point guards for the Bahamas, 19 years of age.
Lewis takes the three, falls onto the floor trying to draw the foul. Now Ackham has his shot blocked.
Speaking of guards, want to send a shout out to my good friend from the Bahamas, Quentin Hall, one of the best that ever did it. What up, homie? Quentin Hall doing his thing down there in the Bahamas, still training kids, teaching them the game of basketball. Send me a plate of that conch that you got over there.
Now driving the baseline and dishing. Shot blocked by Colby. And here comes Bahamas again. Cox attacking and laying it in. And we're tied at 18.
Well, I tell you, this Bahamas team have a lot of athletes on them. I was looking at him doing the layup line, and I seen some dunks that would win a couple dunk contests.
Now a foul as Sargent goes up. That's going to be on Eugene Bain. Don't forget, you can join the conversation on Facebook. We are at Caribbean Basketball Confederation. Or on Twitter, at Carib Basket, CARIBE, BASKET. Send a shout out to your favorite player or team or your favorite broadcaster. Or if you've got a question for one of us, we'll do our best to answer it. Maybe read your tweet on the air. Sargent hits them both, and it's 20-18. And now another intentional. That's on Clinton Joshua. So now Torrington Cox will go to the free throw line.
I'm kind of guessing because of some of the rough play that has happened in the previous game that these officials probably had a meeting and decided that they're going to try to clean up a lot of the strong physical play.
Yeah, it was rough last night in the final game between BVI and Barbados. There were a lot of bodies hitting the floor hard.
I honestly did not see an unsportsmanlike foul on that last play as both the offense and the defender met midair, and I thought he made a play on the ball.
From one Bain to the other, Eugene can't hit. And here comes Antigua. Lennox McCoy from three has his shot blocked by Taryn Cox. Now Taryn pulls up from the baseline right side. No, the tip won't go by Colby. And a foul on Eugene Bain as the black headband of Sharif Sargent comes off. That was an easy call to make when you hit the guy in the head and his headband pops off.
Now here's my question. On that play, there's a player wide open.
You know, that thought was just running through my head.
There's a player wide open for Antigua.
And you commit a foul in the backcourt.
Clear path to the basket. Why was that not a clear pass foul?
As soon as you said, right before you started to say that, that started running through my head. Now Ackham in the lane, that won't go. 3-on-2, Nesbitt over McCoy and hits, and we're tied at 20. Now a steal by Ackham, and he gets fouled hard by Kentwan Smith. That was after the dunk by Sharif.
Angel Martinez, the referee from Puerto Rico, is definitely not shy about letting his whistle fly.
So the free throw shakes out by Ackham.
This Bahamas team had a guard tandem in players like Gray and Hines, who probably was the best backcourt in the tournament last year. Neither of those guys made the trip this year.
Now Cox into the corner. It's Bain out to Smith. Back to Cox. Now in the corner. Michael Bain hits. That's a three, and we're tied. McCoy. He's attacking. He gets his shot blocked. That was the big man, Mangan Roll. Now Bain driving and dishing. Out to Roll. 3 on the way. No. Nesbitt soars in for the rebound. He goes up. That gets in. And for the first time since Mangan Roll gave his team a 3-2 lead, the Bahamas leads 25-23. Now Luby working on Roll. Double team comes over. And a shot clock violation against Antigua. They had no concept of where the 24-second clock was.
A little bit too much dribbling, not enough ball movement. Hence ran the shot clock late down into the shot clock violation.
6:07 to play, second quarter. Bahamas with the 2-point lead. They trailed by as many as 7. Now Roll inside, goes off the glass. No, Nesbitt's tip won't go, but Bain gets the rebound. Now a long 3, and again, the shooter falls afterwards, hoping to draw a whistle. Now Burton goes up with a pretty finger roll. We're tied back up at 25. Now Nesbitt. Baseline, no. McCoy in among the trees getting the rebound. Now the awkward shot by Burton won't go, but the rebound tracked down by Scott. Burton in the corner, 8 to shoot, driving, loses the handle, pinballed around, and Bahamas comes back. Now the alley-oop to Smith. Oh my! Kentuan Smith climbs the sky wire for that one.
What a pass by Leon Cooper. I'm telling you, I'm sure he could have thrown it up to anybody on this Bahamas team, as they had some high flyers. And there goes the veteran, Lennox McCoy, as he was able to get in the lane with the floater.
So we're tied back up at 27. 4 ties this quarter. Now Nesbitt has his shot blocked. Ball rolling on the floor. Cooper squirts it to Bain. Wow, nice ball movement by the Bahamas there. And it's a 29-27 lead. We're back in a minute at the 2015 Caribbean Basketball Confederation Championships in Roadtown. Kentuan Smith giving his team a 2-point lead at 29-27. with just under 4 minutes to play, second quarter. Richardson working around the screen by Sargent. Now faking the three. Driving is McCoy. He tried to get it out to Ernest Scott. And the ball gets tipped out of bounds. 3 to shoot for Antigua. Scott launches the three. No good. Rebound roll. Cooper getting the offense set up. You can hear the coaches for Bahamas screaming to get the offense in place. Now roll into the corner. Long jumper is no good. And no call as Eugene Bain pulls. He pulled the guy down to the floor and no call. It's going to remain Bahamas ball. Now Cox off the inbound. No good. Roll can't get the tip. 2 attempts at it. Ball batted out of bounds. It will remain with Bahamas. Now Kadeem Colby checking in, getting a little height in there for Bahamas as Bain sits down. Beg your pardon, Nesbitt sits down. Well, these narrow numbers on the Bahamas jerseys are hard to read, at least for me. Now a nice give back. That won't go. It will. Oh, I thought that was going to roll off. Biggest lead of the game for the Bahamas at 4. Interesting defense there by Leon Cooper, kind of the swim defense. Waving his arms around. Now a 3 on the way. That circles out. Rebound Eugene Bain.
I haven't seen any warnings for flopping going on in this game, but I've seen several players just drop to the floor.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it at least 3 times. Now that 3 won't go. Rebound inside by Sargent. Up ahead to Scott. He feeds McCoy. McCoy attacks. Has it blocked by Roll. And now the ball's on the floor. And a jump ball called. (31-27) Bahamas. 2:03 to play, second quarter. Question on Twitter from Romaine Potter asking us, who in your opinion has been the individual standout performer so far in the tournament? The question was, who in your opinion has been the individual standout performer in the tournament? Cox goes up and flushes that one.
There's been a number of great players. I probably would have to say last night, the three-point shooter for the Barbados team, who shot, I think it was 5 for 5 but from beyond the arc. To me, he single-handedly won that game for the Barbados team over BV.
Now the bank shot by Luby won't go. I'd have to look back through my notes here to see who I would name most outstanding player so far. Now Bain, the long 3, no. Maybe over halftime, that's something we can look at. Now the pass ahead and the thunderous finish by Sargent. Oh, a nice feed, and Bain draws the foul. He'll go to the line for the and one.
If I had to pick one player, I'd probably go with Burkett from Barbados, who had a outstanding game last night. Shot 10 for 15 from the floor, 6 for 9 from the three-point line, had 31 points.
Yeah, that's probably the best individual game, but as far as consistency through the whole tournament, I don't know if he's the guy. He certainly had the best individual and most important game. Bain completes the three-point play, and it's 36-29, biggest lead of the game for the Bahamas. Matches the biggest lead for either team at 7. Bahamas wants timeout with 41.5 to play in the half. We'll be back from Roadtown. Kind of looking through my notes here over the past few games, a couple of players who have played consistently well. Alexis Foyle from SVG has played very well the whole tournament. Cooper loses his defender, gets it out to Smith. That's no good. You know, it'll be hard to overlook Kentuan Smith as well. Three misses by Ernest Scott, and that is how the second quarter is going to end, with the Bahamas taking a 36-29 lead. They trailed by as many as 7, and now they lead at 7. Going into the locker room, Antigua took an 18-11 lead with 1:40 to play in the first quarter on a three-pointer by Burton. And then it was a 5-0 run to end the second quarter, and Taryn Cox scored the first bucket of the second for the Bahamas. So it was a 7-0 run to tie it up at 18. Nesbitt tied it again after a pair of free throws by Sharif Sargent. And then Sargent scored again, then Ackham with a free throw, and then Bain hit a three. And then Nesbitt gave his team the lead, their first lead of the game, since Mangan Roll gave his team a lead at 3-2. And it has been, well, I won't say all Bahamas since then, but they have steadily expanded this lead to 7 points. As we take a look at the halftime stats, Nesbitt has 7 for the Bahamas. Eugene Bain has 8. Mangan Roll with 5 rebounds for the Bahamas. Mangan Roll has 2 block shots. Kadeem Colby with 3 block shots. For Antigua, Raviel Burton has 8 points. And Sharif Sargent has 6. Lennox McCoy, 5 assists. Leading rebounder, Kurt Luby, with 5. Earlier today, it was St. Vincent and the Grenadines defeating the Cayman Islands 80-71. SVG moves to 2-2. Cayman falls to 0-3. Our second game of the afternoon, Bermuda defeated Suriname 71-50. Bermuda upped its record to 2-1. Suriname fell to 0-3. Coming up at 9 o'clock or thereabouts, it's our nightcap. Barbados, with the big win last night over BVI, taking on the neighbors just to the west of the BVI, the Virgin Islands. Virgin Islands 2-0, Barbados coming in at 1-1. Right now it's 36-29 in favor of the Bahamas. This is the 2015 Caribbean Basketball Confederation Championships from Roadtown at the Multipurpose Sports Complex. We are back with second half action in just a bit. Back at the 2015 Caribbean Basketball Confederation Men's Championships. It's the Bahamas and Antigua, two of the pre-tournament favorites, meeting in a preliminary round matchup. Both of these teams coming into this game at 2-0 in group play. Antigua led by by two after the first quarter, 18-16. And then the Bahamas outscored Antigua 20-11 in that second quarter to take a 7-point lead. The Bahamas took their first lead at the 6:32 mark on a basket by Nesbitt at 25-23. That was the first time they had led since they were ahead 3-2. Smith to inbound. Cox gets it back. Three from the right wing. That's good. So Taryn Cox gives the Bahamas a 10-point lead at 39-29. Scott flips one up toward the rim. That won't go. Luby gets the rebound, and then he gets sandwiched by a pair of Bahamas defenders. He'll go to the free throw line. The foul is going to be on whom? It's going to be on Roll. One of our officials couldn't get the hand signal right. First he signaled 51. Luby misses the free throw. It's the first foul on Roll. Luby with that herky-jerky free throw motion hits one. Cox between the rings. Shoots it into the corner for Cooper. Left-hand jumper rattles out. Rebound tipped and then taken by Scott. McCoy finds Richardson in the corner. Skip pass. Three on the way. Roll tips the rebound to Smith. Smith attacking the right side. Has his shot blocked. Nesbitt gets it back. Roll for three. Yeah, Mangan Roll. Biggest lead of the game at 12, 42-30. That's his second three-pointer of the game. Now trying to answer at the other end is Scott. Now Cooper attacks. Finger roll is good. And just like that, Bahamas up by 14. They've doubled their lead within the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. Now McCoy for three. No. Roll the rebound. Smith for three. Luby the rebound. So an 8-1 run by the Bahamas. To start off this quarter. And again, they deny Antigua. Now Roll goes up, has it knocked out of his hands by Richardson. Still trying to see what number foul that is on Richardson. They did not put it up on the board yet, but Antigua calls timeout. It's 44-30 Bahamas. We're back in a minute.
Outside talking to my son.
Talking to your son?
Yeah. 14.
The Bahamas with a 14-point lead at 44-30. I think they've got the play-by-play on the score sheet messed up. (45-30) Bahamas now. After the foul on Richardson, that was his first, and now the pull-up is short by Taryn Cox.
Magnum Roll continues to show a grimace on his face as he substituted out the game.
Yeah. Second free throw by Scott is good. He makes it 45-32. And you can tell how much the Bahamas coaching staff wants this one. They're at about a 9.5 out of 10 on the intensity meter.
He's been out his seat since the start of this game. I don't think he's sat down yet.
Now a three on the way from McCoy. No. Rebound Colby. Cooper to Cox. Between the rings. Getting the offense set up. Now zips the pass to the wing. Cooper didn't field it cleanly. Back to Cox. 5 to shoot. Now the baseline drive and jump shot. Hits the side of the backboard. No good. McCoy into the front court. He accelerates. Looked like he took a couple extra steps in there. And then a nice feed to Sargent.
Coach not liking what he sees from his Bahama team. Calls for time. Let's talk about it.
Bahamas takes time out. And we'll take it as well. 45-34 in favor of the Bahamas. We're back in a minute. Bahamas taking timeout after they got off to a 9-1 run to start the second half, but Antigua has cut into it a little bit with a couple of straight baskets. Now Tarrington Cox, his free throw line jump shot won't go. Scott the rebound ahead to Richardson. Richardson gives it up. The shot by Sargent won't go. He slams the ball in frustration. He had a pretty good opportunity for the and one there. Instead, it'll go to the line for two.
Sergeant of Arms, as he's the interior of defense for this Antigua team.
Second free throw by Sargent is straight through. Cox to his right. Here comes the screen from Colby. Back to Cox. Bain goes up, has it blocked, but a foul called. Foul's going to be on Ernest Scott. That is the third foul on Scott already. Bain's free throw no good. Second free throw by Bain is good. McCoy left wing. Screen from Sargent. Richardson now. In some trouble, gets tied up. Great defense by the Bahamas to trap Richardson along the baseline. It will be Antigua ball with 8 to shoot. Scott trying to shake his man, takes the shot and draws the foul. Angel Martinez, I'm not sure what that move was on the
Never seen that signal from an
No.
official.
Boy, if somebody would freeze frame that or took a picture of that, he'd be the subject of some pretty good memes on social media. Scott hits the first free throw. Both free throws good. Tried to give it up underneath. McCoy attacks. Has it blocked cleanly by Cox. What a block by Taryn Cox.
Cox, another one of those guys from the Bahama team that plays above the rim. I think it's the conch that they eat down there in the Bahamas that got these guys jumping like that.
Scott to Richardson. Now attacking is McCoy. Driving the dish. 3 on the way. No. Rebound back tapped and taken back by McCoy. Now Richardson out to McCoy. 5 to shoot. Gets the pass inside to Richardson. He goes up among 3 players, and the tip in is there for Sargent.
These big fellows are banging inside, and they're playing above the rim. What a tip by Sargent.
Now Nesbitt checking back in for the Bahamas. McCoy. Boy, and that's a pass that he should not have tried to make there, trying to find Richardson. Bain jumped the pass, and he had position on it anyway.
Yeah, he got to take about 2 more dribbles down the sideline to get a better angle to feed the post on that pass.
Now he gets Richardson. Sargent cuts. Now Richardson. Awkward shot. Now Cooper feeds Nesbitt. The short jumper won't go. Richardson had the rebound and then knocked out of bounds. They will say by, but I thought Nesbitt could have been called for the over the back.
I thought he actually traveled before he took the shot. You know what's interesting that I just realized? The most intense coach for the females tournament was the Bahamas coach. I would have to say it's the same thing for the men's tournament.
Yeah, so far I think you're right. And Bain with the breakaway dunk. McCoy, the drive in the dish, 3 on the way, no. Nesbitt pushes it ahead to Cooper. He attacks Sargent, and he's going to draw the foul on the big fella. So Richardson has a seat. I thought they gave that foul to Sargent. Instead, they gave it to, it had to be on Sargent. Right now, that's up on the board as Gerard Henry. I don't think he's even played. That must have been the previous foul. Now they put it up. It's on Sargent. It's his second. Cooper hits both free throws. And it's back to an 11-point lead. Now another steal by the Bahamas. Cooper attacking, giving it up to Colby with a acrobatic right-hand lay-in. Up to a 13-point lead. Now Scott from in close misses. Bahamas running again. Cooper from outside the left elbow. That looked like it was going to go, but hits back iron and pops out. McCoy around Cooper now. Again, the drive and the dish. And now the drive by Clinton Joshua. Doesn't score, but draws the foul. That's going to be on Kadeem Colby.
A number of times Lennox McCoy has been able to penetrate that Bahamas defense and kick it out for the wide open shot. Antigua's going to have to start hitting down some of those jump shots, those field goals.
Free throw by Joshua is in. Second free throw by Joshua also in. (52-41) in favor of the Bahamas. A minute 40 to play, third quarter. Craig Fada, Calvert White, glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from. If you're watching online, why don't you pop over to Facebook, go to Caribbean Basketball Confederation, and click like. We are at 1,016 likes. We were in the low 800s at the start of the tournament. Now the jump hook by Sargent circles out. You can also follow us on Twitter. We are at Caribe Basket, CARIBE BASKET. If you've got a question for either Cal or myself, we'll do our best to answer it. Or if you want to give a shout out to your favorite team or player, we'll try to get your tweet on the air. And the long three-pointer by Nesbitt. And a three at the other end by Burton. Now Taryn Cox back in. 36.4 to play in the third quarter. McCoy out near midcourt. Now Cox backs off. Here comes the screen by Burton. McCoy driving, dishing again. And Scott has his shot swatted. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Well, we thought maybe Antigua had risen to the top of the power rankings. Bahamas is showing that they're every bit the equal. And that's a good call right there. That did not leave his hand before the buzzer sounded. So
I was waiting for one of the officials to signal that
yeah,
it
they were
didn't
all
count.
three of them kind of looked at each other, and then finally one of them signaled no.
It was clearly in his hands as the buzzer went on.
Now the scoreboard reads 55-41. I thought it was 55-44 following the three by Burton. We'll get that straightened out between quarters. We're back for the fourth quarter after this.
He says right score.
Well, mystery solved. Came to find out that the three that I thought Burton hit was actually an air ball. It hit the net on the way down, but it didn't pass through the cylinder. From my angle right here, it looked like it passed right through, and it was a three-pointer. So instead of 55-44, it's 55-41. So the Bahamas outscoring Antigua 19-12 in that third quarter. And it is a 14-point lead. Now an over and back.
Magnum Rowe for the Bahamas has been on the bench for basically that entire third quarter. Don't know if he's hurt or not, but I didn't really see him in that third quarter.
Well, maybe with the lead, they're just kind of protecting him. Now the shot underneath by Sargent. He's hammered. Foul is going to be on David Nesbitt. Kanisha Cabral says on Facebook, "Let's go Antigua. It's not over until the last whistle." Still a lot of basketball to be played. Sargent drains them both, and it's 55-43. And Bahamas turns it over. They step on the sideline. Sargent up top. Fakes the give to Burton, and now intercepting the pass is Taryn Cox. He goes up and misses the dunk, but Nesbitt is there for the putback.
Antigua not doing a good job of getting back on the turnover. Lennox McCoy able to force the miss.
Burton in the lane, no. Kadeem Colby the rebound. Now Colby on the block. Turns and faces Sargent. Lets it fly and hits.
Gotta say the Bahamas team looking very good in this game, as they're shown that they're a powerhouse on offense and defense. They're gonna be tough to beat.
16-point lead, biggest lead of the game. And another turnover for Antigua. (61-43). The lead is at 18. And now a foul called. I think they're going to get Colby. They are. Lakeisha Fox-Carey on Facebook says, "Let's go Bahamas." Shout out to Shaquan Lewis and the entire Bahamas team. The Bahamas team looking very strong against the team that, frankly, you and I anointed before this one as the team that was looking the strongest. I think we may have to reevaluate our our analysis.
Bahamas definitely showing us that why they're the defending champs from last year. as they're trying to be the two-time back-to-back CBC champions.
Now Scott from the corner is 3 no. Rebound. Nesbitt. And then out of bounds, it'll be Bahamas ball. Beg your pardon, that was Roll, who's back in there. He had the rebound, then had it poked away. Roll, banging with Scott. Turning and shooting. Airballs that one. Antigua the rebound. Richardson. Now ahead to Sargent. Spinning, left-hand move won't go. Rebound taken by, was that Burton or Sargent? I think that was Burton. It was, and he draws the foul. Foul is going to be on Mangan Roll. That is the second foul on Roll. Burton completes the and one. 6:51 to play. 61-46. Jose on Twitter says Bahamas about to take both the men's and women's championships. Well, I don't know about that. There's still a lot of work to do for Bahamas. Trina Nicole asks, can we hear the commentary on the games even if we rewatch? That I don't know. I don't know how it's archived. I would assume you can. And Jose, he's calling us out. He says, are we seriously calling the defending champs the underdogs here? Well, coming into this one, it was both of our opinions that while they were among the favorites, we thought Antigua and Barbuda was looking the strongest, but as we said, we definitely have to reevaluate that.
This game definitely changes my power rankings, and I can admit I was wrong.
Yeah.
I would definitely have to put Bahamas at number 1 right now, Virgin Islands at number 2, and Antigua at number 3.
And at Key Danielle 17 wants to give a shout out to the WVU Tech players for both Bahamas and Antigua.
Part of my assessment of this year's team is because they did not bring back the 3-guard set that they had last year with Gray, Hines, and can't remember the other guy's name, but they had some terrific guards last year.
Now the shot blocked by Scott.
Bulked up in size and brought back a lot more athletes, but I thought they was weaker this year in guard play than they were last year. Hence why they went down in power rankings, but definitely showed me today that they're probably still the team to beat in this tournament. You know, my boy Quentin Hall is watching the game, and he's loving that.
Richardson attacking, bounces off Roll. Scott goes up, has it blocked. Nesbitt rejects Scott in close. And no call as Cooper and Richardson slide to the floor, bounce off of each other. Cooper misses the shot.
I actually would have called that an offensive foul if there was a call to be made, as Cooper was the one that initiated the contact, dipping his elbow into Richardson.
I think he did it when he slipped, so maybe that was the reason for the no call, but figures a guy shooting a ball and 2 guys tumbling to the floor, there has to be some sort of call after that. Now the Bahamas wants timeout, 61-47. In the fourth quarter, we're back in a minute. 5:15 to play, 61-47 in favor of Bahamas over Antigua and Barbuda. And ever since the midway part of the second quarter, Bahamas has steadily pulled away from Antigua. Now another turnover.
And this coach doesn't really have a high tolerance for mistakes.
Not right now, he doesn't. Richardson has the shot blocked by Smith, going back up. Again, third effort, no. And then Burton's there for the two-hand putback flush. And now a whistle after the dunk. And Roll, who we've seen walking gingerly all evening, immediately came up hobbling after that one, and the officials stopped play so that he can get helped off the floor.
And I'm sorry, Bahama fans, but if Magnum Roll goes down, Bahamas move back down in my power rankings.
Well, we'll see how he plays, how they play without him the rest of the way, assuming he misses the rest of the way. And now the layup missed by Cooper. Three on the way from Richardson. That's good! The lead down to 9 with 4:19 to play. Plenty of time.
Send a shout out to Lakeisha Fox Carey. Hit us up on Facebook. Said, let's go Bahamas. Shout out to Shaquan Lewis and the entire Bahamas team. Kaya Joshua, she's also tuning in. She said, let's go Antigua. Shout out to Clinton Joshua and the entire team. Kenesha Cabrell, she said, no reevaluation necessary. Teams do have off games. Team Anguilla still the team to watch.
Well, Trina Nicole says, don't count out my Bermuda boys on Twitter. And Jose says, thank you very much for reevaluating. Now the basket by Clinton Joshua, are they going to count it?
Shot did not go. And Kenesha Cabral
they're going to say it was on the floor.
Definitely right. Teams do have off days. The problem with that is in a tournament like this,
yeah.
an off day can cause you to miss the medal round.
Yeah, an off day ends your week. So the foul on Nesbitt, his third. Free throw by Joshua is good.
And you guys can continue to hit us up on Caribbean Basketball Confederation on Facebook. Send us your questions, comments, shout outs.
Lead down to 7. 61-54 after the two free throws by Clinton Joshua. Bain between the rings. Seven to shoot. Boy, Nesbitt looked like he was fouled, and ahead to Scott. Scott goes up, jams it home with two hands. Lead is down to 5. Now a foul at the other end as Bain attacks.
And the Bahamas team have not scored since the 7-minute, 46-second mark. It's a little over 4 minutes since their last basket.
And I don't have in my notes who scored that one, but that was when they peaked at the 18-point lead. And now a timeout on the floor, so we will take it as well. We're back in a minute from Road Town. This one's getting interesting. Don't go away. .303 to play. Antigua has drawn to within 5. Don't forget the big man roll appears to be done for the night for the Bahamas. He had been coming up court on occasion gingerly, and then finally coming down after one rebound. He needed to be helped back toward his bench.
And we all know basketball is a game of runs. And right now Antigua is trying their best effort to push this ball and get back into this game.
A 13-0 run for the Bahamas, or rather for Antigua, since the 7:46 mark. Bain's second free throw is good. Richardson goes down. I don't know if his feet went out from under him or not. And Richardson popped up. And started to run at somebody, and his Antigua teammates jumped in the middle. I'm not sure what happened there. Looked like he was jockeying for position on the rebound, and he hit the floor hard. Bahamas saying that's a flop. I don't know, a guy flops, he typically doesn't hit the floor that hard, but.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the hardest flops I've ever seen.
If it was, he was really trying to sell it. And then he laid on the floor motionless for a couple of seconds. And now Richardson gives up the ball. Bain goes up and dunks it with two hands, and that ends the run. Back to a 7-point lead. Now a three at the other end is good. Cooper has his shot blocked. Gone onto the floor, and now a jump ball. And it's going to be Antigua ball on the alternating possession. My count must have gotten off here. I had it at 61-56, and then all of a sudden it was 64-56 on the Bain dunk. I know it's not a three-point dunk, so I don't know if I missed a free throw in there by Bahamas. At any rate, the official score, 64-59 on the three-pointer.
Facebook getting a little hotter, a little feisty. We got a lot of people signing in now. A lot of fans pushing for their country.
Sargent, the jump hook, no. Scott, the tip won't go. And then soaring in for the rebound, Nesbitt. And then the steal by Joshua. Three on the way, no. Long rebound. And Antigua resets. Sargent has his shot swatted into the seats, but it's going to be Antigua ball with 1:33 to play and trailing by 5. Ten to shoot for Antigua.
We definitely got to give Canisia Cabral another shout out. As she said, shout out to the commentators. You guys are doing a good job. Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening as we bring you all the action from Road Town BVI.
And now a shot clock violation for Antigua. Minute 23 to play in this one. Not over yet. 5-point deficit for Antigua. Now the pass inside to Nesbitt. He circles it back out as Bahamas choose some time. 8 to shoot. Screen by Nesbitt. Cox giving it back to Nesbitt. And Bahamas just about turned it over. And Angel Martinez signaling that it went off the leg of an Antigua player, and that is the correct call.
And I think Bahamas got away with one just now as that ball looked like it was mishandled by Nesbitt.
It was, no
referee
question,
from Puerto
but
Rico
I think
giving
it
the
went
ball
off
back
of
to Bahamas.
an Antigua leg. I saw the same thing Martinez did. Now the high soaring layup attempt won't go, but the putback is there. I think that was Nesbitt. Now McCoy with the floater. That rolls off out of bounds. I thought Antigua touched it last, but they're going to say it went off the Bahamas. So it'll remain Antigua ball. 66-59. Well, time winding down here. If you are Antigua, what are you drawing up down there?
Well, with 14 on the clock, they got to get something going to the basket. Get a quick two, and got to try to set up their full court press and see if they can't get a steal. They're going to have to try to create some turnovers with under a minute left on this clock.
Stefan Joseph asks, is there any good hopes for my hometown team, Guyana? Shout out to Ryan Gullen and Akeem Kanai from Guyana.
Kanai, one of the top players for that Guyana team. Don't want to be biased, but I don't think Guyana can compete with the big dogs of this tournament.
Not this year. Maybe they've got some work to do. So to reset, 44.4 left. 14 to shoot.
With 44 seconds, I'm not so sure they need to be jacking up threes right now. Get something quick to the basket.
Yeah, you need 2 as well as 3, so.
And they're definitely taking too much time off the clock right now.
And now knocked out of bounds. It'll remain Antigua ball with 8 seconds to shoot. Clinton Joshua to inbound. Gets it to McCoy. Ball was tipped. McCoy just about hits the fall away three-pointer.
And they got to start fouling now.
Yeah.
They got to start fouling.
And there they do. Only the second team foul for Antigua in the fourth quarter. But they took a long time on that offensive set, and they took a long time to foul. So now only 23.3 seconds left.
Now is when they got to start jacking up threes.
Now Bain to inbound.
5.
And another quick foul on Sargent as he grabbed Colby. So a second elapsed from the clock there. Bain to inbound again. Still not a shooting situation.
Still got to foul 2 more times.
Yeah.
Then they want to.
Now McCoy with the foul. Maybe you heard in the background Clinton Joshua yelling 3-4-5. He said that was a 5-second count. .0 left on the clock. Shot clock still in effect. 14 for Bahamas. Now Tarrington Cox comes on, and Kadeem Colby comes off. Inbound to Cox and another foul. I tell you what, partner, having so many fouls to give worked against Antigua there, because they didn't get the ball back and they burned off 8 seconds fouling 3 times. Tarrington Cox can't make the free throw. Still 66-59. It's been that way since Nesbitt scored with 54 seconds left. Can't believe we have another game after this one.
Be a good game also.
Yeah.
As the Virgin Islands, who are 3-0, faces a good Barbados team.
Richardson for 3, misses everything. And now Bahamas wanting timeout. We'll keep it here. As coming up at 9 o'clock or thereabouts, it's going to be Barbados and the Virgin Islands. Barbados impressive in their win over BVI last night. Of course, BVI without Cleon Penn, but still Barbados played a pretty good game. Virgin Islands coming in as one of the top 4. They're 2-0.
It's going to be a good matchup as VI team plays opposite than Barbados. Barbados love to go inside to their big fellows. They love to bang. Whereas the Virgin Islands, it's more of a perimeter team. Big guys love to step out and shoot the 3. Craig Williams, cut but Victor. They got a lot of leadership on that Virgin Islands team, along with some good youth.
.5 to play, 67-59 in favor of Bahamas.
Hope you guys stay with us for the next one. Continue to hit us up on Twitter and on Facebook as we enjoy reading your comments or your questions on the air.
Yeah, we had a shout out from Europe.
Never know. Might read your comment over the air, or we might read your shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of loud in here when we were going through some of them. Did you get the one from Serbia and Croatia? Nesbitt hits the free throw. Gets them both. And it's a 10-point lead. Richardson at the other end, but too little too late. Well, the Bahamas with a 10-point win over Antigua and Barbuda. And they were convincing tonight. After taking the lead in the second quarter, despite the 13-0 run by Antigua in the fourth, they were able to hang on and stretch it out at the end. Just a fantastic effort by the Bahamas as they move to 3-0 on the tournament. And Antigua falls to 2-1. Once again, the final 69-61. Try to pull up some final stats for you here in just a moment as we wait for our screens to refresh. For the Bahamas, Nesbitt had 16 points. And how about this for sharing the wealth? No one else for the Bahamas in double figures in points. Nesbitt also had 10 rebounds. Colby had 7 rebounds and 5 blocked shots. For Antigua, Sharif Sargent with 13, Raviel Burton with 13, Ernest Scott with 12, leading rebounder Luby with 9. Luby also had 3 blocked shots. It was a good game, but Bahamas just too tough down the stretch in the fourth quarter. They weathered that 13-0 run, made the free throws when they had to, executed on defense when they had to, and they were able to come away with the win.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this Bahamas team on the defensive end, as they have 2 big 6'10" centers that really protect the basket and force you to take a lot of jump shots from outside. Antigua wasn't able to capitalize and hit a good percentage on their field goals, hence the deficit.
For my partner Cal White, I'm Craig Fada saying so long for now from the Multi-Purpose Sports Complex in Roadtown on Tortola. We're back in about 18 minutes for the Virgin Islands and Barbados. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you in a little bit.